Compliance doesn't have to be chaos. Learn to make it part of your culture. Well, you need to start with knowing what you have and how it works. And I talked earlier about having partners that know what's going on. You need to know what's going on. And really that's where you should start. It's like, what are your systems doing? What data do they hold? And then you need to go through everything that protects them, or perhaps may not be protecting them. There's best practices to apply, and that's a really core part of FedRAMP and CMMC, that there are standards that really should be done and applied, things like MFA, for example. So starting there and taking a full assessment is really where I would begin, where we began as well, and then building upon that. If you have gaps, well, solve them. And if it's something where you need to implement different systems in a different way, perhaps there's new encryption that has come out that you need to adhere to, you need to start taking a look at how that will be implemented in your environment. It's critical to find the right partners or consultants. And the reason is they have to understand your business in order to be effective and really get you to the finish line. If they don't understand what you do or how you do it, then you're not gaining anything at all. You're actually making things work worse. So if you have the right people and they work with you to understand how you do things, then they provide the value that they're there for. They can really make sure that the security controls, processes, and what we're doing, they really know how it works and functions, and they can either document it or they can provide the right assessment, and it will get you to the point where you are today. Absolutely. It's absolutely worth every bit of the effort we put into it. We've opened new doors, we've made a better system, and we're just really a better company. And it's going to be here for years to come, and it's just going to get better. And it's important to know that the security world is always changing. There are always new threats. There's always something out there that you need to protect yourself from. And so if you do nothing, then you're already behind, and it gets worse every time something comes up. And so with the programs we now have in place, we're prepared for that, and we've reduced risk significantly, and we're happy to extend that to our customers. Ready to start your CMMC journey? Here's what you need to know. Want to stay ahead of the 2025 deadline? See how Kahua built a roadmap to resilience. I would give a couple pieces of advice. One, you need to start now. This is not a quick, fast process, to turn into a FedRAMP or CMMC compliant organization overnight. There's a lot of work to do, and so getting started earlier is better. And the other is you need to invest in the right people. People make the difference here, and people make this possible. Without the right people, you may not ever become compliant, because there's a lot of work to do, and also everyone's got to actually apply the controls required to be part of this process. So I'd recommend that to anyone starting this journey. And also, I'd love all companies to go down this path, because everybody being secure together really gives the entire industry a better, more security across the board. A lot changed in that process. We purpose-built the Kahua government network to satisfy our government community, and it started with bringing up a new data center to house the data for those customers, and then expanded into the processes and controls that are in the software, and also with our employees here at the company. And it's just ingrained from the bottom to the top with how we need to perform security here at Kahua. Some of the hardest lessons learned, I'll refer to two of them. One is really just the overall complexity and difficulty in making sure that all of your systems are operating at the proper security level and all the protections are in place. You can't simply flip one switch in one piece of hardware and all of a sudden everything is properly compliant. You actually have to make sure every system works together. You have to make sure everything is monitored, everything has the proper security controls applied. And because we use a lot of different systems here at Kahua, there are a lot of different ways to configure those systems for use for our platform. And getting that all to work correctly was quite an endeavor for us. The other side of this is that it is a significant investment in documentation or processes. You may do things the right way, but you're going to have to document them. And so that required going through extensive interviews and also just really elaborating on all of the processes here we have at the company, because there are a lot of controls, and so there's a lot of documentation and there's a lot to go through. At the end of the day, it's about trust, and we have to have our federal customers' trust in both the FedRAMP and CMMC, and they are trusting that we have a secure, compliant system that really does protect their data. And having that trust is what enables us to really forge partnership with them. And at the end of the day, along with that, the compliance and having a secure system, our customers they're here for years, and so we need to as well. So at the end of the day, that trust builds that for us.